There we go.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we're just going to get started. I don't know, we'll probably, I think, take a minute to have everybody say who you are and what institution you're with, just because some of you we've been with before, some of you may not have been together. I'm Dina Shank. I'm with the Illinois Community College Board, and I'm the Senior Director for Learning Renewal. So I think most of you know me either from Zoom or from the many, many emails you seem to get from me. So super happy to be with you today. And I don't know, we'll do a little fun something. If there's anything, what is the thing that you look forward to most or enjoy most about fall? And I will start by saying I am just a Halloween nut. My house is covered in skeletons and spiders and all the things. And my family almost always does a theme kind of costume. So this year my daughter decided to be a circus ringmaster, and I am going to be a tiger, and my husband's going to be a bear, and our Labradoodle, who's gold, is going to be a lion. So just Halloween to the extreme at the Shank house. So, and I'll
need to see pictures of that after the holiday.
I can bring those next time for sure. So I will popcorn this to Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Price. I'm from Shawnee Community College, and that is in the utmost southern of Illinois. We're at the tip, and I'm the Vice President of Student Affairs. And here's just a couple of things about fall. I don't really like pumpkin spice anything. I like pumpkin bread, but as far as I'm concerned, you can leave the cinnamon and stuff out of it. But my current struggle is that I have the most brilliant, most beautiful grandchild who's 2.5. And I carved pumpkins with her a couple of weekends ago. And my own kids, who are adult kids, are accusing me of never carving pumpkins with them. And I keep telling them that that is not true, that how would they even know how to carve them if I hadn't taught them? But I have not found any pictures for proof, but anyway, that's my current struggle, is that my kids are shaming me for not doing that with them. But I was happy to do it with the granddaughter. So anyway.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
If you want to pick someone to popcorn to.
Oh, sure. Brittany.
Good morning. My name is Brittany Boston, and I am with the Illinois Center for Specialized Professional Support. And so we are working with ICCB to help kind of move this project along and provide professional development, and then a wonderful website, which we'll kind of touch base on today. And I am one of those people that I do really love fall. I enjoy the changing leaves, and there's a comedy skit about it that just makes me laugh every time, because I mean the reality is they're changing because they're dying, but yeah, we all just love the foliage and watching the colors. And I have started to get a better appreciation for Halloween now that I have 2 little boys, because they get very excited about their costumes and dressing up and going trick-or-treating. And they are disappointed because I do not have enough Halloween decorations in our house. So that's my goal for next year, to get more Halloween decorations. And I will popcorn to Paul.
Well, thanks. I'm Paul Jensen. I'm the Associate Vice President for Academics and Workforce at Triton College, which is in the western suburbs of Chicago. And I like fall, like the cooling weather, but I really like the change of season. So just any season, when it's time to change, I'm ready for it. So I was ready for fall. I was just playing a game with my wife and kids, a board game, and I can't even remember what it was. But one of the things you were supposed to say was, what was your favorite Halloween costume? And I kind of dated myself, I guess. When I was a kid, my go-to costume was hobo. And my kids had no idea what I was talking about, but I had my little, markers and all that stuff. And, we didn't have those store-bought costumes and all that good stuff back then, but a hobo with a pillowcase and brought back good memories. So that's me. So I'll go ahead and I'll pop it over to Eli.
Good morning. Thank you, Paul. My name is Elijah Wilson. I am the Vice President for Academic Affairs at Prairie State College. We are located in the south suburbs of Chicago. Let's see. Wow. I love fall. It's my favorite season for a variety of reasons, but I like the fashions for fall. I like Halloween. Every room in my house has some type of Halloween decoration in it. And I just look forward to, to that particular day, having treats available on my block where I live. Lots of kids come for trick-or-treating. And so we look forward to that at my household. I will popcorn to Shannon.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Shannon Flavin. I'm the Grants Compliance Manager for Waubonsee Community College in Sugar Grove, which is out in the Chicago suburbs. I'm here on behalf of Dr. Stacy Randall. She's in board review this morning, so I get to fill in for her. I told her I'd do this. She can do board review. I'm all good with that. I'm with Lisa on the pumpkin spice thing. I don't get it. I don't understand people's obsession with pumpkin spice. But whatever makes you happy is good. I like fall okay. It's not my favorite time of year. I always tell people it's the time of year. I'm not a fan of socks. I think they're like little prisons for your feet. And so I have to put socks back on. So I'm like, oh, I don't like the socks. But on the upside of that, I get to quit push mowing my yard for a while. So that's a positive. I think I did that for the last time this last weekend. So I won't have to drag the mower back out until hopefully about May. So anyway, nice to see everybody this morning.
Thank you. And I can popcorn it over. And
Let's do Hillary. Hi, Hillary.
Hi, thanks, Shannon. I'm Hillary Meyer. I'm at Triton College with Paul. I'm the Dean of Academic Success. And my favorite thing about fall, even though, yes, it is sort of looking at the leaves dying, I think of it as the new school year. So it's always an exciting time and a fresh start, even just going back to when I was a kid, getting my school supplies and backpack together and seeing what was going to be coming in the coming years. So clearly I'm in the right industry since we don't ever have to leave school. And I'm going to pop it. Is Jill able to talk?
Yes, I'm here. Hang on.
Hi.
Here we go. Hi. Let me start my video. Hello, my name is Jill Lorsbach. I am the Director of Student Development at Lewis and Clark Community College in Godfrey, Illinois, which is kind of in the northern part of Southern Illinois, if that makes sense. I am here on behalf of Brett Reinert, who's our Executive Director of College and Effectiveness. And I love fall, mostly because I like sweaters and soup. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I was having a little continued audio issue. So if you saw me moving, I was saying, Amy, if you want to introduce yourself, I think you might be our last person.
That's great. Thank you. I'm Amy Julian. I'm the director for the Illinois Center for Specialized Professional Support at Illinois State University. And I work with Brittany and for ICCB to support this project with technical assistance, professional development, and then again, resource development and some fun websites and stuff like that that we'll be talking about today. I'm with those of you who love fall. I love fall. I've loved it since I was a kid. All the holidays within fall are fantastic. I'm a big Halloween fan, big Thanksgiving fan. Also, I'm a football mom, so you kind of have to love fall being a football mom. I'm a pumpkin spice purist. I love pumpkin pie, but not the I don't get the whole like pumpkin Oreo thing. My kids brought those home. And Brittany, I'll probably be bringing those into the office because they're not great. She's
I'm
excited.
not, I don't even like pumpkin pie. I'm one of those people. I can't even eat pumpkin pie, but I will say, I'm gonna try and turn all of you. There are pumpkin cheesecake cookies at Target. It sounds like a lot, but they're delicious.
Might check those out. I like pumpkin. Thanksgiving pumpkin pie, no gifts, no expectations, just get together and eat. It's a great holiday. But anyway, yeah, very excited to be with all of you today. And I'll go ahead and click us to our next slide, which is really looking at our discussion topics. And let Dean take us from there.
Great. Well, thank you. And thank you all for bearing with me while we talked about that. I just think this type of informal gathering, it's good to have a minute to just get to know each other a little bit. So really, we're just here today to talk a little bit about how things are going with your learning renewal initiatives. We're one full quarter into the second year that continued year that we were able to get as you're implementing these programs. So just to hear a little bit about your progress, your successes. I know you'll be sharing all of that with me in your quarterly reports, but I wanted to give people the chance to share their successes, their progress, their challenges with one another. And so we can, maybe come up with innovative solutions or just talk about the things that you need as you continue on with some of these programs. And then we are going to spend just a few minutes talking about sustainability because you all are doing some amazing things and want to think about how this can continue when learning renewal funds aren't with us any longer, since that is COVID money. So if anyone wants to, jump on and unmute themselves and share a little bit about, maybe your progress. I know some folks have done things like bridge programs or, what you've implemented and how that's going as we've gone into this new academic year. We'd love to hear a little bit from you.
I'll go. This is Lisa. A couple of the things that we've been doing, I know that Guided Pathways has been around in higher ed for many years, but Shawnee has been slow to get things going. I think maybe in the last 10 years, there would be like, oh, we're going to get it going. And I haven't been here I've just been here too, but we're going to get it going. And then, the momentum would be lost and then, come back. And so one of the things that we have tried to do through the learning renewal is really launch Guided Pathways across campus. And so that's how we've been using some of the funding, and that's been some of our focus. And hopefully this time it will continue. Our VPAA is very into Guided Pathways. So, hopefully we've worked on ways to sustain things, the different parts of the program. Let's see. So I'm trying to think of, just one thing that has happened to me. We've kind of gone to a new budgeting system, and with this funding and our learning renewal program, we were focusing on tutoring. And so in that budget for campus, there hasn't been money spent on tutors last year. And I, so then we bring it out and I was like, oh, that's because it's been, we funded through a grant and it didn't show up there. So just some things that I know that other people might go, well, that's silly. I remember that was in the, that's why we didn't have money in there, but just not to get tripped up just on those little things. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great reminder. You have a lot of different funding sources and things coming from different places. So it is easy to get a little bit tripped up on that. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm excited to hear that you're already thinking about the sustainability of some of your Guided Pathway programs. and we may pop back to that and see if you can tell us a little bit more about that. But give others a chance to share kind of the progress they've made. If they've had successes they'd like to share, this is your time to brag on yourselves too, because I know you're making a lot of progress. If you'd like to do that.
I'd like to share. Again, this is Elijah. We've made a lot of progress. This past summer, we offered 2 summer bridge programs, and the whole idea, one was for our early college initiative, which is our dual enrollment students. And we particularly noticed that some of our dual enrolled students, they take classes at the college during the day and then go back to their high schools and, in the afternoon. But we noticed that with some of our participating schools, that some of the students were not performing well academically in their college classes. So we thought that what we decided to do is we offered a 5-week program for the students. It was they enrolled in a college success seminar. It was online. And so they spent 4 weeks doing the coursework for this college success seminar. And then we had 1 week on campus where they met with faculty, different people from a variety of offices on campus, financial aid, advising, our student success personnel. And we also had a program for parents. So we invited the parents to come as well, so that they would know what their students were doing. And we are tracking those students who participated in the summer program, early alert, seeing how they did. And we've gotten positive feedback from those students that they were very happy that they had the opportunity to come on campus, meet faculty, meet with people, and that it is helping them navigate their coursework and other support services on campus for students. The second program we did was was a STEM bridge program for math, and we identified several of our incoming students who might have gone into developmental math. So what we wanted to, and they were interested in STEM, so we provided them with a 5-week program where they worked with faculty, took a math class, and succeeded with that, and were able to go into college level math this fall. So we have student mentors who meet with them and work with them, and we're tracking their progress. So we're pretty happy with those 2 particular initiatives, and they are something that we are looking at how to sustain those programs, because we're seeing the successful outcomes for students.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that you're getting feedback from the students and that they are, reporting the benefits of that. And I know that we'll of course always want numbers of students, yes, that kind of thing, but just that anecdotal, knowing the personal impact that you're making, I think that's fabulous. So thank you for sharing both of those. They're exciting initiatives.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to go next. I will do my best since I'm filling in for Dr. Randall. Basically, the curriculum for a math bridge program has been finalized and will be ready for spring 2023. The curriculum for an English bridge program is under development. We hope to have that completed by the end of this academic semester. We also offered on-course training entitled Engaging and Empowering Leaders, which was held in late May for staff, faculty, and administrators. We did have 45 participants for that in-person training. The training modeled learning, engaging learner-centered educational practices and effective strategies to empower students to be responsible learners with the goal of improving student success and retention. We also have been able to implement MindWise, which we finalized the contract with them in August, and it has been implemented. MindWise is an online system, and I want to make sure I provide you guys with the right definition if you're not familiar. It's MindWise Innovations. MindWise is an online screening platform that provides users with access to customized anonymous screenings for depression, bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety disorder, and other mental health issues. We did roll that out this semester and have seen good success with it. This far, it is being utilized by students, which is terrific. We're happy to see that. And we have continued our partnership with the AID organization. AID is on location at our downtown Aurora campus, and they provide, they offer mental health online support, but they also have office space at our campus downtown and provide one-on-one support there for students as well. And students have been accessing it, which we're happy to see. We've also signed an MOU with Mutual Ground, which is our domestic abuse organization here in this area, and they are going to have counselors on campus for regular visits to support the college's commitment to Title IX and VAWA. So we are encouraged about that. One of the changes that we have had in our area is that Kelly Sinclair, our executive dean for student success and retention, left the college to accept a position with another college in August. And so we do just refilled that position with a terrific young woman named Lisa Richardson. She'll be beginning that position. It was approved by the board last night, so I think it will become official as of this morning. And one of the challenges that we're facing, like I think so many schools, is basically with staffing. We continue to struggle with staffing and finding qualified candidates. So we continue to work on that. Like most schools, I know it's not unique to just us right now. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be sure to forward those to Dr. Randall and make sure that we get a response back to folks.
Great. Thank you so much, Shannon, for providing that update. I love hearing about the mental health work and supports that you're offering, and such great work with community partners and a variety of resources for students, which I think is so important because, not everybody is going to feel comfortable accessing those in the same way. So just different options for students is fabulous. So I really appreciate that. I am certain that there are many people on this call who have also had, challenges with staffing. So if anyone has thoughts on ways that you've overcome some of those challenges or things that you're trying, feel free to pop those in anytime, unmute yourself and share those, because I know that is, yes, just a continuous problem in all industries, but we're certainly seeing it in post-secondary.
We share the challenges of staffing, but I can speak to a creative solution we had backed into for another grant that may be helpful. We were looking for a full-time staff position on a program, and part of it included some teaching components. So we were able to carve out the teaching bucket and able to utilize an existing adjunct we had on campus to teach the course. So it was a win-win, and we liked it so much that we're moving forward with that as our new model. It's something we didn't come up with in the beginning, and it was kind of a opportunity crisis, but it worked out great, and it will help I think ease the transition because he teaches on the credit side, and this is a continuing ed course. So it will help bridge for these students the non-credit to credit idea. So it's working out great. Certainly we have a lot of other challenges with the program, but in terms of the teaching piece, it's solid.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's, a great option, a great alternative that you've come up with. So, fantastic. Would anybody else like to share just kind of an update on where you are or what you're finding that is successful? if not, I know that we talked already, a few challenges have come up, but would like to hear about the challenges that you're facing. I know we've done a lot of talking about that over the first year. That was part of what we built our professional development program around with Amy and Brittany. But what we found, I think, from meeting with folks from the colleges over the course of this grant so far is that the challenges change, right? As you get into implementation or, something else comes up. And so we're really interested to know, what you're experiencing now. If you are facing any challenges, we can think about it in this group for solutions or innovations to overcome it. We can also think about it in terms of what we do for professional development and support over the rest of this grant time as well. So does anybody want to share any particular challenges that they are facing?
Well, I can share one that we were having, but it may have resolved itself. One of the project on which I was working at Triton was accelerating online program development. And, we used to develop maybe 3 to 4 courses in an online format each semester. And we wanted to ramp that up, find a way of improving our processes so that we could do, maybe 10 to 12 a semester. So we did 19 of them in our fall semester. Our spring semester, and we're piloting them all now. And one of the issues that came up for us that was proving to be a little bit thorny was discussions of academic freedom. One of the big challenges we have with our online courses is that they are not uniform in their design. And, we could tell from our stats that we could have, maybe I'll just make up some numbers here, 1,000 kids would take the first online course, and then they take a second online course, and it'd take them so long to figure out the navigation of the first one, they'd come to a second one that looks so different that they'd just stop taking online courses at the college. So we really wanted them all to use a template. And this was the bulk of our conversations in the development of this program, was trying to get people on the same page to try and use a uniform navigational tool. And we kind of got people on the same page, but it was still a struggle as we went through the actual building out of these courses. But then Blackboard went ahead and upgraded to Blackboard Ultra, and you don't have a choice anymore. Those courses are going to kind of look the same. So hallelujah for that. We're going to have kind of a uniform navigational template there, so the students will, great for them. We don't have as much discretion there, and the faculty are fine with it. It wasn't a big issue for them. It was kind of a principal issue that they wanted to make sure that there wasn't encroachment there. So I think we're all fine with that. But in addition to that, we've just made a bunch of internal process changes with our peer review committee, with our faculty members, and just made a bunch of internal shifts that will speed that process along, move that location of that committee from curriculum to the online educational technical committee, changed it from individual reviews to group reviews. So really streamlined that process. We put in some we're trying to put in some checkpoints each month to make sure that faculty are getting developmental work done. That's another academic freedom thing where they would like a little bit more leeway as to what they get done when, but we found out last time that too many of them let too much time get in between when work was supposed to get done. And it was almost to the point where they couldn't recover and get the courses done in time for the piloting phase. So we have to build in those checkpoints, and we're just kind of making the case for that now as we walk through the cleanup part of that process. But overall, it's been a really good project. We've learned a lot.
Great. Thank you, Paul, for sharing that. And I especially appreciate you sharing all the ways that you kind of shifted as you went through this process, and how different people in different, walks of life on campus responded to it. So it sounds like you're, really coming up with some great initiatives and great plans that will help continue to move this forward. So, I understand, as somebody who used to teach as well, that no one wants to be told when something has to be done, but
right.
We do it to our students to keep them on track. Some do, right? And if I didn't have a deadline, sometimes things wouldn't get done, right? So
exactly. Everyone's being really good, and I don't want to give the wrong impression. As I say, it's principles that are being discussed broadly. right? There's no howling or kicking or anything like that. We just want to make sure that everybody's rights are being respected. Everyone just wants to make sure that is being respected. And so far, I think everybody is satisfied that it has been.
Thank you. I think that's fantastic to take in all of those different perspectives and really have those deeper conversations. Anyone else with any challenges or solutions that kind of goes along with those innovative solutions that Paul was talking about, of how you've kind of worked through conversations or worked through, potential, concerns? I always like to be silent for a minute to give people the time, but I also want to be mindful of our time. And I know that Amy and Brittany have some things with our resource hub that we're going to talk about, but I do want to spend a few minutes. A couple of you mentioned sustainability of your programs, and just to hear a little bit about what you're thinking about sustainability, but kind of a little bit more in depth about what you're thinking about or what the discussions are, who's involved in those discussions, because that'll be kind of a big focus for the last half of this year of kind of thinking about that. And I'm going to be reaching out to folks to kind of find out what they're doing with that. So if those of you who said that you were already having, thoughts of or conversations of, if you'd share a little bit about what's happening in terms of thinking about sustainability right now. And, it doesn't have to be a 6-point plan, because I know it's just a thought at this point, but would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Hello, this is Elijah again. And I mentioned earlier that these two, particularly these two summer bridge programs that we started with our dual enrollment early college initiative students and the math bridge program. I'm working right now with the academic deans who at the college in which these in the areas in which these programs are located, and we are talking with our chief financial officer as we begin to start thinking about budgeting for the next year, and how do we get funds through the college to sustain these particular programs. And with our budget council, we'll just have to write up proposals and what we want to do, what do we see the cost as for sustaining these programs, and they go to our budget council in next semester, and we hope that we'll get funding to sustain these particular programs.
Great, thank you. That's fantastic that you have different people in those conversations. Hopefully that get more support for continuation of these programs. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We're really just trying to, we have a big push on making data driven. I know some of these things most people are like, oh my gosh, why have you not been focusing on these things? But we're trying to really make data driven decisions. And so, things like the tutoring and showing the success of the students who receive tutoring. Showing one of the things that is in our learning renewal plan is mental health first aid. And so showing how many students that, and community, because that was one of the things that we kind of said we would go to our high schools and assist them with that if they didn't have any kind of training for their staff. And so to just show the numbers of how important it is and how many people are using the services. So that's just kind of one of the things that we're doing.
Great, thank you. And yeah, the the data piece becomes so important, especially in those mental health services. It's a little harder to measure. It's not a grade, right? You're not showing that people get a C or better in something. And yet the sheer number and the impact and the need and the outreach for it is certainly something that helps show that this is necessary. And hopefully then there's commitment to sustain this throughout. So I think that that's a great approach.
You know, with the online programs, being able to run so many through at one time helped us kind of, I'll use the example, put a stress test on the system. And putting that many through actually got the attention of the faculty. And the size of the sample actually allowed us to really get everybody to sit back and take a look at structurally what the problems were. So I think it helped us make the fixes that we needed to make. And if we had done it just a smaller, you know, just incrementally larger, we wouldn't have seen what the real issues were. So that really helped us. So we have the funding to pay for the online course expansion. That's not an issue for us in terms of just stipends for our faculty to go ahead and expand that. There is a staffing issue now, to your earlier question, that comes along with that, though. It's the instructional designer piece, right? We have one instructional designer for the college, and we probably could use 2, if not 3. My last institution, they were called learning strategists, because actually, I think that's a better term for what they do, because it's not just the instructional design of what goes where. Really, our faculty that have gone through this process leave it with more than just an understanding of how to develop an online course, right? It's really how to structure your course, whether it's online or not. They understand where the information should be presented in the course and how it should be presented and how the students are relating to it, how they consume it and how they respond to it, and how, you know, it's a whole different way of thinking through it. It's just a whole different perspective of thinking through it. Many of our instructors, especially in CTE, we hire them, of course, because they're content experts, not because they're instructional experts. So sitting down for a semester with an instructional designer has been an excellent experience for them. And I wish we had funds to get 1 or 2 more instructional designers, because if they were developing courses, I'd have people going in and working on their classroom presentation materials, their PowerPoints too. So all good stuff.
Sounds like fantastic stuff. And yes, it would be wonderful if there was even more opportunity for that, but I'm glad that there are those resources to help it. And I really like how being at that larger scale than you might have been able to do without these funds really allowed you to kind of have that, I don't know, I'm thinking of it more of as kind of an overview or a bird's eye view of, you know, where maybe potential concerns were, and, you know, to overcome some of those challenges. So I appreciate you sharing that. Anybody else have a sustainability tip or plan or thoughts?
Here at Waubonsie, we'll take the primary components of the grant moving forward. And when I spoke with Dr. Randall about this, our plan is to propose those for the FY24 budget. Like most colleges, we go through a review process. We submit projects that we would like to have funded, and it will go through a budgeting review process, request process, and then our executive leadership team, which is our 4 VPs, and the president then review those. And of course, like most schools, each department, you know, there are many requests that come in for the next budget year, and they prioritize those. So we're hoping that at a minimum, we would like to see MindWise sustained and continue to offer that moving forward. We do know that we'll be able to continue providing space for the aid organization to continue their services on site at the downtown Aurora campus, and then also continue the online component of that. And then also we're going to put forth a request to continue the tutoring support. So those are the things we're looking at right now. We'll ask for as much as we can, and then we'll see what comes back out of out of the review process is kind of how it works here. So
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Ask for it and see what you can get, right?
Yeah, we live by, you know, you don't know unless you ask. And so we ask. And we try to write a compelling enough case when we put forth the project request that it'll make it through that review and what we call elimination process. So we're hoping to have ours not be eliminated. So
Well, I think that sounds like a great plan. And I think
Mhm.
some of the things Lisa talked about the, being data driven, that helps with that not being eliminated, right? So all fabulous plans for hopefully sustainability of the work that you've been doing.
yes, we try to wow them with numbers. So that's our plan anyway.
Fantastic. Well, if you have other sustainability ideas, I would welcome you sharing those. Or again, if there's anything that ICCB or ICSPS can do to help as you're working on those, working on where you're going to go next with sustaining these programs, that's certainly part of what we want to be able to support over the next, next few months as we continue on with this grant. But Amy, I feel like we've kind of gotten through most of my part of the agenda. If you want to talk a little bit about the hub and what's coming up and what we're going to have available, I'll pass it your way.
Okay, thank you. And great discussion. I've been taking notes. And a lot of those topics are things that, again, and I want this to be very clear that it's an open door. If you have professional development needs or ideas or things that you want to see, reach out and let Brittany and I know, and let Dina know, because we've sent you the schedule, what's coming, but we are also having some special showcased topics that we're going to be focusing on. And just to kind of show you behind the curtain a little bit, we are working on a trauma series, and it's going to be a 4-part trauma series that is going to be available. Brittany and I will not be presenting. We're bringing in experts on trauma and mental health to present that. And that's going to be coming in November and December. And then the last one will be in January. So we're just finalizing that contract. I'm very excited about it, but it's going to talk about the impact of trauma, what vicarious trauma is. So we're coming out of the pandemic, and there is so much that has not gone. I mean, there's no one who has made it through the pandemic without being touched by something with COVID, whether you had a direct response or whether you had an adjacent response. And COVID caused a lot of trauma, not only for our students, but for our staff, for our faculty, for our institutions as a whole. So how do we really address that, support those individuals who need support, and look towards the future? And so that's what we're going to be doing this series on. How do we support those who have experienced trauma? And then how do we support ourselves in supporting people who are going through trauma? So that idea of vicarious trauma, and then moving through COVID's impact on trauma. So it's going to be a fantastic series, not to undersell it, but to totally oversell it. It's going to be fantastic. Brittany and I have both seen this person present before, and they do a great job. So with that, though, just wanted to leave that door open. So if you have ideas, if you have things, I heard the mental health first aid, that is something that, just to be completely transparent, we're working for in the WIOA system. We'll either invite you to that, or we'll do our own thing for the college system. That's something I can talk to Dina about as well. But the trauma series is coming right away, and mental health first aid is but for me, that's something that needs to be in person, and everything thus far has been virtual. So what you're seeing now is, you're going to notice there's a little Latin on there. No, I don't expect you to speak Latin. This is our holding spot. This is what our learning renewal, as you see our great new logo, which we're very proud of, but also this is what our website's going to look like. So this first page here is the home page, and then this will be the sub pages that we move in. They told us that we'd have it this week. I think it looks like we're going to have it on Friday to drop in content, so it'll be ready to be released next week. So timeline's understanding of a week, and I was thinking, woo, Wednesday, and they were thinking, woo, Friday. So just a little couple days off. But what we will have for you is social and emotional resources, academic resources, contact information, not only for all of you, but also for those Community College Board, and for us if you need our contact information. The learning convening schedule, so that'll all be up there, linking to descriptions and such. Any upcoming professional development. Everything is planned to be virtual for this project. As I said, the trauma series will be a 4-part series, but it will also be all virtual. And then the video gallery. So that way you can go back and you can say, you know what, I really liked this session in October when we heard about project marketing, or we have some other videos that we're going to be dropping in there. And then we also are looking at having some individuals come and do some work that we'll be sharing in that video gallery, as well as professional development. And then each subpage will be this page over here. Just put it both on one slide there. And you'll be able to navigate through the top bar there, completely accessible, all of those great things. And just wanted to give you a glimpse of what it's going to look like. So any questions with the website? We'll do a complete marketing blitz when that comes out, so you'll all be able to go in, play, tool around. And again, I live and breathe the continuous improvement aspect. So if you do have things you're like, you know what, I really like this, or I don't like that, let us know, because we want it to meet your needs. We are looking for full accessibility, so color blindness and all of those things have been taken into account in the design, and it'll be very well and great and navigable. Any questions about the website?
It looks great. So
And
I look forward to being able to go in and write. Wonderful.
thank you, Shannon. This will also live past June 30, because once it's alive, it's alive. And so that will either stay where with the URL, it'll stay alive. I mean, the updates will be what we can, work through with ICCB, and our staff is happy to continue to update some fun things on there. But that way you do have that as a resource as you're looking towards sustainability this summer and into next fall. You can go back and still look at those resources. The one thing I want to point out for our next learning convening is when we get together on November 9th, we're going to be hearing about summer bridge programs and those boot camps and all those wonderful things that we're doing. That was all of the topics have been selected from what you all said over the summer through the learning convenings were topics that you were interested in. We did, I think, 9 different meetings over the summer asking who's interested in what topics regarding social and emotional support and academic support. And one of the big ones that was discussed was, what are these boot camps? What is, how do we get this fun stuff going when it comes to remediation and such? So we have invited some colleges to speak. We're looking at national trends and what other states are doing. And we'll have a fun it'll follow the same format as all the rest of the convenings, 30 minutes of presentation, 15 minutes of questions, dialogue, all that good stuff. Any questions there? Brittany, anything I missed?
No, I don't think so. And Amy and Dina, I don't know if we'll be doing this or not, if we will be linking to the ICSPS webpage on the Learning Renewal website. But I would also encourage you to check out our website as well, because I know I'm going to assume that many of you wear multiple hats at your institutions. And so we do have, we work a lot with adult education, CTE, the workforce system. So browsing our website as well, while it might not be something specific pertaining to this grant, we do have some other resources available as well that could be of benefit to you.
Well, anything related to the topics that we're discussing will be linked up. So for example, we've done quite a bit with marketing and outreach, and I know we talked about that on our learning convening last week. Was that last week? We'll be linking to the resources that we mentioned. We'll be linking to some things that were developed, because again, everything that we do is done with federal funds. And so it is all available to all of you all the time. We're like CNN, we're always on. So we will be linking anything pertinent, but again, to Brittany's point, really do if you're looking for stuff, take some time to peruse. And if you have questions, like if there's a population that you're interested in serving, one of our wheelhouse areas is special populations under Perkins. So individuals with disabilities, single parents, English language learners, all of those individuals are things that we have a lot of resources on that we're happy to support and talk with. We also do a lot of work in universal design. I know that was our first session. And so we'll be linking to all those fantastic videos that have been developed over the last 2 or 3 years on really putting universal design in the classroom and what that looks like in the classroom. So some great resources there. Those will all be linked to the Learning Renewal website. And then again, once you're over there, you can peruse and shop, and it's much cheaper than Christmas shopping on Amazon because it's all free. Any questions? You're all like, we have 7 minutes, Amy. So, all right, I'm all wrapped up. And Dina, I'll switch it back to you. And again, any questions, just feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. So thank you, Amy and Brittany, for giving that update and that preview. We'll be very excited to get that hub and the information out to you. And that'll come out via the Learning Renewal listserv. But if for some reason you're not on it, or someone else at your school is not on the listserv, please let me know. We can get them added, or they can reach out to me for that link once it's available as well, because we want as many people as possible to use this. And yes, obviously it's tied to this particular grant, but I think the resources that are going to be available will be, beneficial to folks in lots of different areas of your institutions, not just those who are working specifically on learning renewals. So I just want to thank you all for taking the time to have these conversations this morning, to share a little bit about what you're doing. And again, invite you to reach out to me, to Amy, to Brittany, if you have questions or needs, because we are here to support you as you move forward with this. So everybody enjoy the rest of your fall, and we will hopefully see you all in November.
Yes, and those of you who are in sandals today, wow. It was 30 this morning, so.
I love it though. Free the toes, right? No more foot prison. I love that phrase. I'm going to use it everywhere.
My 13-year-old, the second he gets home, his shoes and socks are off. And he's been like that since he was a little itty bitty. He says, I can't handle having my feet closed up all day. I'm like, oh, buddy. Okay.
I'm right there with him. I agree.
Me too. Me too.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you all for your time.
Bye all.
Take care, everybody.